Good, welcome you guys back to my channel, Nene Blobs. So today I'm making my January wrap up for the month and also just my currently reading video. I'm just gonna talk about all the books I read in this month and what I'm reading. I've got to say, this month has been crazy. Like always, I always underestimate the work and hecticness of January, especially when school starts. And yeah, I only read 2.5 books this month. That is very little compared to my usual months. Hopefully in February I can read a bit more than that. But school is crazy and I have gotten so little time to read this January so far, and hopefully I get some more time in February. So the first book that I read in January and the year of 2018 was Warcross by Marie Lu. So this has become one of my favorite books of this year. Even though I haven't read that much, I'm pretty sure this will stay on that favorites list for the whole entire year. I can't wait for the second book. So this book is set in a futuristic world and it follows the main character called Emika. And in this futuristic world you get these glasses where you can play games, and it's like virtual glasses where you can also see the names of the building, of the people that surround you. And there's also this championship called Warcross, and it's a worldwide championship and everybody watches this game being played, and there's only a handful of people that can take part in it that are picked. And so the main character, Emika, one day she watches this game and she accidentally glitches herself into the game. So for a split second everyone sees her and the book kicks off from there. This book was absolutely amazing. I really enjoyed it. It hooked me so much. I read it so quickly. I read it in a day and it's so quick, so fast paced. After the second or third chapter I couldn't put it down. It was just really good and well written. I'm so excited to read more of Marie Lu's work because I've seen her books like everywhere, and each time I'm like, I'm going to buy it one day, but now this has really encouraged me to read more of her work. So like I said, I give this 5 out of 5 stars. If you guys want to know more about this book, I did make a book talk / review on this book. Part of it is spoiler free, so please check it out. The link will be down below. And then the second book and final book that I completed in the month of January was Gastric Island by Frances Hardinge. This was a very fantastical book. So if you guys have been following my journey on Booktube, you will know that I got this in one of my first Booktube videos, and that's been like a year or 2 years ago. And each time I try to start it, and every time I start it I get to page 20 or 30 and then I put it down and I just lose interest. And although this book sounds so cool, it really took me a time and a while to get into the story. It's a very different world, so literally you have to learn a lot of information about this world. And the author did a really good job in explaining it. It was just very heavily packed with information, and it took me a long time to get used to the world and the people and the fantasy aspect of it, and also just all the powers and mysterious things that happen in it. So this book is really hard to describe. I really cannot properly put it in a synopsis. I can say that like the main character is the sister of this really important girl or princess, and her sister, she's actually part of the Lost, and that means that her sister can actually detach her senses from her body. So she can like be seeing something happening in one village and her body can be in another village and hear something on the opposite side of the town. So it's very, very hard to get your head around, but once you do, it's a really fun story. A mystery happens right at the beginning and you just follow these characters trying to solve this mystery, and it's so interesting and the ending is crazy, and just the whole mystery aspect of it got me hooked. That's the one thing that got me hooked and made me want to continue reading it. I did give this book 4 out of 5 stars just because it was really hard to get into, and some parts for me were just slow and I kind of got out of it a bit. But I did enjoy the story and the characters, except for like one character I got so annoyed with. But I do recommend it, and yeah, if you're looking for a really difficult read, fantasy read, you should read it. It will pay off at the end, especially if you love mystery as well. And then the last book that I am currently reading and started in January was Little Women by Louisa M. Alcott. I have been hearing about this book since I was a child, and I've also been looking for it for a long time, and finally I found it and bought it, and now I'm reading it. I'm really enjoying it. It's just a classic, so it's taking me forever to finish this book, but hopefully I can finish this soon. I am enjoying it so far, and it's just so nice and homey, and I feel like it's a really good classic so far. And then another book that I'm also currently reading is a book that we're reading at school and we have to read for school, and it is Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. I hope I pronounced that right. So this book was written about the time that the Europeans came to Africa or Nigeria. It tries to show European ways and the European stories and what they felt when they came. And it also shows tribes in Nigeria, and it shows how they felt when these Europeans came from nowhere and started trying to lead them and take over their tribe and villages. And so far I'm enjoying this story. I do get kind of tired in class just reading it a bit because the first part is very information heavy. There are 3 parts and the first part is like more than a half of the book. But we're almost finished with that part, and I'm excited to see what happens after it. So far, we've just been learning about the tribes in Nigeria and the main character, Okonkwo, I think that's his name, and how their culture and things that they do and their traditions are so weird to us, but for them it's just their normal way of living. And I find that very interesting to read about and see how, even though it makes us feel uncomfortable or weirded out and like, what are they doing? For them, they grow up with it, and it's just like us growing up with our own cultures and traditions. This is what we're reading this year so far, and I think we're gonna finish it in the first term, but I'll talk more about it after we finish it. So those were all the books that I read in the month of January. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a really quick video. I am so busy, and I hope this video comes out on time because I've got to say, these first few weeks of school has been crazy. I'm so sorry if it comes a bit later. Just know that I'm trying my best to upload every week. Okay, so if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like and comment down below what you read in January and if you've read any of these books that I talked about in this video. Also, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Okay, so see you guys next time. Love!